Good day, everyone. This is Teacher Cherry. In this video, we will describe the roots of a quadratic equation using the discriminant.
In the quadratic formula, x equals negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. The value of the expression b squared minus 4ac is called the discriminant of the quadratic equation. Remember, dito sa ating quadratic formula, ang nasa loob ng square root ay b squared minus 4ac. Ang value na to ay tinatawag na discriminant. This value can be used to describe the roots of a quadratic equation. Kapag alam natin ang discriminant, madidescribe natin ang roots ng quadratic equation. Kapag sinabi natin the nature of roots of a quadratic equation, it is the description or characteristics of the roots. Dinidescribe nito yung roots ng quadratic equation. It can be determined by finding the value of the discriminant b squared minus 4ac. Malalaman natin ang roots kapag alam natin ang value ng discriminant. The nature of roots of a quadratic equation is categorized into 4. The first one is if the value of b squared minus 4ac is 0, then the nature of roots is real, rational, and equal. Kapag ang nakuhang discriminant ay 0, ang ating roots ay real, rational, at equal. Kapag naman ang value ng b squared minus 4ac ay greater than 0 or mga positive integers and a perfect square, ang ating roots ay real, rational, and unequal. Kapag naman ang value ng b squared minus 4ac ay greater than 0 or positive integer but not a perfect square, ang nature of roots natin ay real, irrational, at unequal. At kapag naman ang value ng b squared minus 4ac is less than 0 or mga negative integer, ang nature of roots natin is not real. Para mas maintindihan natin ang nature of roots of a quadratic equation, let's have examples. Example 1. Describe the roots of x squared plus 8x plus 16 equals 0. First, we determine the value of b squared minus 4ac. Let us first identify the values of a, b, and c. Ang a natin is 1, ang b natin is 8, and ang c natin is 16. After makuha ang values ng a, b, and c, we substitute to the b squared minus 4ac. Ang b natin is 8, so we have 8 squared. Minus 4, ang a natin is 1, so we multiply by 1. Ang c natin ay 16, we multiply by 16. We now have 8 squared is 64 minus 4 times 1 times 16 is 64. 64 minus 64 equals 0. Remember, sabi natin kanina, kapag ang discriminant ay equal sa 0, ang roots ng quadratic equation ay real, rational, and equal. So, let us check kung totoo nga. To check, solve for the roots of x squared plus 8x plus 16 equals 0. Gagamitin natin ang factoring method. Let us first factor the expression on the left side of the equation. Factor of x squared plus 8x plus 16 is x plus 4 times x plus 4. Paano nangyari yon? Ang x ay galing sa square root ng x squared. Ang 4 ay galing sa square root ng 16. And then, positive sign, kinapin natin yung sign ng middle term. And then after that, we will equate the factors to 0. The first factor is x plus 4. So, equate natin sa 0. And then, solve for x. We apply the subtraction property of equality. We subtract 4 to both sides of the equation. Simplify, we have x equals negative 4. The other factor is x plus 4. We equate to 0. And then, we subtract 4 to both sides of the equation. And then, simplify, we have x equals negative 4. As you can see, our roots are negative 4 and negative 4. They are real, they are rational, and they are equal. Therefore, the roots of x squared plus 8x plus 16 equals 0 are real, rational, and equal. So, tandaan kapag ang discriminant ay 0, ang roots natin ay real, rational, and equal. Let's have example 2. Determine the nature of the roots of 5x squared minus 9x plus 4 equals 0. First, determine the value of b squared minus 4ac. Let's identify the values of a, b, and c. Our a is 5. Our b is negative 9. C is 4. And then, substitute the values of a, b, and c to b squared minus 4ac. Our b is negative 9, so we have negative 9 squared minus 4 times a. Our a is 5, so we have 5 times c. Our c is 4, so we have 4. Then, we get the square of negative 9, which is 81, minus 4 times 5 times 4 is 80. 81 minus 80 is 1. Remember, if the value of b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0 and a perfect square, the roots of the quadratic equation are real, rational, and unequal. 1 is greater than 0, a positive integer, and also a perfect square. A perfect square has an exact square root. So, the nature of roots, if the discriminant is greater than 0 and a perfect square, is real, rational, and unequal. To check, let's solve for the roots of 5x squared minus 9x plus 4 equals 0. Let's solve by factoring method. We factor 5x squared minus 9x plus 4. The factors are 5x minus 4 and x minus 1. Yung 5x and x ay factors ng 5x squared. Negative 4 and negative 1 are factors of 4. To get negative 9x, we multiply the outer terms, which is 5x and negative 1, that is negative 5x. And then we multiply the inner terms, negative 4 and x is negative 4x. We add the product of the outer terms and the product of the inner terms, negative 5x plus negative 4x equals negative 9x. After getting the factors, we equate the factors to 0. 5x minus 4 equals 0. Then add 4 to both sides of the equation. And then simplify, we have 5x equals 4. Then, meron tayong 5 sa left side of the equation. We will divide 5 both sides of the equation. 5x divided by 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. We now have x equals 4 over 5. The other factor is x minus 1 equates sa 0. And then, we add 1 to both sides of the equation. We solve for x. We now have x equals 1. As you can see, the factors or the roots of 5x squared minus 9x plus 4 equals 0 are 4 over 5 and 1. They are real, they are rational, and they are unequal. Therefore, the roots of 5x squared minus 9x plus 4 equals 0 are real, rational, and unequal. Always remember, if the value of b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0 and a perfect square, the roots of the quadratic equation are real, rational, and unequal. Let's have example 3. Describe the roots of 3x squared minus 7x minus 5 equals 0. Let's determine the value of b squared minus 4ac. Let's identify first the values of a, b, and c. Our a is positive 3. Our b is negative 7. Our c is negative 5. And then, we substitute the values of a, b, and c to b squared minus 4ac. Our b is negative 7. So we have negative 7 squared. Minus 4 times a. Our a is 3. Times c. Our c is negative 5. We have negative 5. The square of negative 7 is 49. Negative 4 times 3 times negative 5 is equal to positive 60. 49 plus 60 equals 100. 9. 109 is greater than 0 but not a perfect square. Sabi natin kanina, kung ang value ng b square minus 4ac ay greater than 0 but not a perfect square, the roots of the quadratic equation are real, irrational, and unequal. Ang 109 ay walang exact square root, kaya siya ay not perfect square. I-check natin kung totoong real, irrational, and unequal ang mga roots. To check, let's solve for the roots of 3x squared minus 7x minus 5 equals 0. Let's use the quadratic formula. So this is our quadratic formula. Identify the values of a, b, and c, then substitute to the quadratic formula. We now have x equals negative, b is negative 7 plus minus square root of b square, b is negative 7 square minus 4 times a is 3 times c is negative 5 all over 2a. 2 times a is 3. And then, simplify. Negative times negative 7 is positive 7 plus minus square root of negative 7 squared is 49. Negative 4 times 3 times negative 5 is positive 60. All over 2 times 3 is 6. Simplify. 7 plus minus square root of 49 plus 60 is 109 all over 6. Then we separate the positive and negative results. We now have x equals 7 plus square root of 109 all over 6. The second is x equals 7 minus square root of 109 all over 6. As you can see, these are the roots of 3x squared minus 7x minus 5 equals 0. They are real, they are irrational, and they are unequal. Therefore, the roots of 3x squared minus 7x minus 5 equals 0 are real, irrational, and unequal. Always remember, if the value of b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0, but not a perfect square, then the roots are real, irrational, and unequal. Let's have example 4. Determine the nature of the roots of 6x squared minus 7x plus 9 equals 0. Let's determine the value of b squared minus 4ac. Let's identify first the values of a, which is 6, b is negative 7, c is positive 9. Then, We substitute these values to b squared minus 4ac. B is negative 7, so we have negative 7 squared minus 4 times A, which is 6, times C, which is 9. Negative 7 squared is 49. Negative 4 times 6 times 9 is negative 216. 49 minus 216 is negative 167. If the value of b squared minus 4ac is less than 0, the roots of the quadratic equation can be described as not real. To check, solve for the roots of 6x squared minus 7x plus 9 equals 0. We will use the quadratic formula. We substitute the values of a, b, and c to the quadratic formula. We have x equals negative times b is negative 7 plus minus square root of b squared, b is negative 7, then squared, minus 4 times a, which is 6, times c, which is 9, all over 2a. 2 times a is positive 6. Then we simplify. X equals negative times negative 7 is 7 plus minus square root of negative 7 square is 49 minus 4 times 6 times 9 is 216. All over 2 times 6 is 12. Then simplify. We now have x equals 7 plus minus square root of 49 minus 216 is negative 167 all over 12. Then separate the positive and negative results. We have x equals 7 plus square root of negative 167 all over 12 and x equals 7 minus square root of negative 167 all over 12. As you can see, the roots are not real because we have square root of negative 167 which does not exist. Therefore, the roots of 6x squared minus 7x plus 9 equals 0 are not real. Always remember, if the value of b squared minus 4ac is less than 0 or negative integer, then the roots of the quadratic equation are not real. Let's have the summary of the nature of roots of a quadratic equation. Remember, if the value of b squared minus 4ac or the discriminant is 0, the roots are real, rational, and equal. If the discriminant is greater than 0 or positive integer and a perfect square, the roots are real, rational, and unequal. If the discriminant is greater than 0 or a positive integer but not a perfect square, the roots are real, irrational, and unequal. And If the discriminant is less than 0, then the roots are not real. And now that you know how to describe the roots of a quadratic equation using the discriminant, I want you to take this challenge. Determine the nature of the roots of the following quadratic equations using the discriminant. Number 1, x squared plus 6x plus 9 equals 0. Number 2, x squared plus 7x plus 10 equals 0. Number 3, 5x squared plus 3x minus 7 equals 0. And number 4, 5x squared minus 2x plus 3 equals 0.
Before I end this video, I would like to share a simple quotation. That is, the essence of mathematics is not to make simple things complicated, but to make complicated things simple. So let's not make simple things complicated. Let's make complicated things simple. That's all. Thank you so much. Stay safe and have a great day.